cups today.
Haha, we're being live streamed. Got it.
Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Ange. How are you going today?
I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. I'm all dressed up in my blue today. I felt I needed a bit of blue today.
That's nice because blue is all about communication.
Yeah. And I love this color. I don't know if you can see it all that well, but
is it a purpley blue?
Well, it's kind of a true blue. So it's right in the
royal.
middle of the spectrum, yeah. And it's my favorite color. I've got shirts this color, I've got shorts this color, I've got my jacket this color.
I love it.
This in red. I really love it. And of course, I've got my red. I've got my red cup.
A red cup today, red cup. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
You're obviously a winter coloring, so you can wear black.
Yep. Yeah. I just find black is a bit harsh though.
Right.
It's just a bit harsh on the curves and the corners. So
but winters are the only ones I think that can really wear black well. I know summers can get away with it too, but I think winters are the nicest in black.
Yeah. No, I didn't know until one lady said to me, you check the veins on your wrist, and if they come out green or blue or something like that. I can't remember the exact details. I'm sure one of the stylists would be able to tell us. But yeah, so winter colorings. So, but I guess that kind of goes with my what is it, Scandinavian look.
Scandinavian, I love it. They're the most beautiful women in the world. I love it.
They are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So today we're talking about belonging in our most significant relationship, Ange. So, our most significant relationship could be with our children, with our parents, with our pet, with our spouse. It doesn't have to be just a spouse. A significant relationship is the one that means the most to you. And belonging within that relationship is really full of taking chances, and it's full of taking that leap of faith that it's the experimentation, isn't it?
I think the nice thing about belonging with your significant other is it's probably the only person you are the most vulnerable with. They get to see every part of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fabulous. And I think also with belonging in that relationship, we all want to be accepted when that terror side has come out, and we all have it. We all have that side of us of frustration and face in your eyes. I know, I'm sure if we had our husbands here beside us, they would love to give a little version of that.
Oh, yes.
And one of the things that I used to love teaching in relationships, I'd always say that, a woman, she releases her anger. And when we go, well, he says that I'm psycho, he says this and that. I said, well, you can go home and tell him that if you don't stand up to me, you won't stand up for me.
Oh,
you did not know this one?
No.
Okay, how that works is women have, men will go, she's actually trying it on to check that you're strong enough. Are you strong enough to stand up for me? Because if you cannot stand up to me, you will not stand up for me. And once you give couples tools and strategies to get around that, it's amazing what can blossom from that. I remember once when I said to one man, now next time she's going psycho, you to go really up close and you just say, and what else do you have for me? And I said, and then she's going to say, and I hate your mother and I hate this and you're going to say, what else? He said, I think you're going to get me killed. I'm not going to get you killed, I promise. I said, you're going to fall madly in love with you. And he's looking at me like I'm a lunatic. I said, you just got to try it on. And he goes, all right, I'll try it on. He came back the next week, big bunch of flowers. He goes, oh my goodness. I said, that's right, because if you don't stand up to her, you won't stand up for her.
That is really, oh my gosh, that's just kind of blown my mind today, because I think about
the test.
Yeah. I think about previous relationships, and I think, they wouldn't stand up to me. And they certainly didn't stand up for me.
when a man walks away because he's angry and he'll have some reason why he's walking away, it actually makes us feel empty. Women go, oh, and there you are walking away.
Yeah.
You don't even want to resolve it. We're actually not looking for resolution. We're looking to be heard, to be validated, that I'm the one. No matter what happens, you love me.
Oh, my gosh. That has really hit for me, because I know when I think of, like I say, when I think about previous relationships, they wouldn't stand up to me. And then, you know, with hubby, who is absolutely the most adorable, don't let his military friends and that know that he's adorable, but you know, I think he's adorable.
It's live on Facebook now. Oh, that's so funny. I love you.
But yeah, he kind of goes, no, come on, let's get it out. And you saying that's kind of just gone clunk in my head and gone, that's so true. It's so true, because they want, they're open to, show it all to me. And I'm going to accept it. And I
love every part of you. I'm going to love every part of you. And this is why series like, what's that series about the girl that goes through the Outlander? Couldn't think of it.
Oh, yes.
Everyone's in love with Outlander. But have you noticed that no matter how much she gives him, he goes, yes, Clara, and what else? You know, he's right there with her. The whole way, he never leaves her side. And a woman is creating a test to check, are you with me? Are you on my side? Yeah.
I'm absolutely dumbfounded. Wow.
Well, Michele, when you do my How to Be a Queen and Have a King, you're going to learn many, many little secrets like that. That's what is in your certification. So when we're on training, one of the days we are actually doing How to Be a Queen and Have a King, and I'm going to be teaching all these wonderful, valuable little secrets that have landed on my ears that I've been able to use and enrich my relationship, so that you can also enrich, be aware of what's working in yours, because obviously it was working, or to pass it on. So that women can say, next time I'm losing it, don't leave me. You know, men like, are you crazy? But I know.
That's crazy. I'm dumbfounded, because one of the things that, like, after a number of not so successful attempts, I decided that, you know, I've kind of got this thing going that if I don't respect myself, nobody else is going to respect me. So I need to cherish myself, adore myself, respect myself. And then it kind of gave me a measure of, if someone's not meeting this particular, like I went out with a guy only for about 6 weeks, and I'd gone away for the weekend and to teach on a trauma course, and there wasn't great phone reception. And when I got back into phone reception, all I got was this, what have I done wrong? And, you know, all of these phone calls, like multiple phone calls. And I was just like, this is a bit clingy for me. I can't be catering to this. This doesn't respect me as a person. And so, that was done. But I and it was kind of, okay, let's build myself up. I need to cherish myself. But that's if he won't stand up to you, he won't stand up for you.
No, if he doesn't stand. And it was one of the things I remember when my husband, now we had a huge fight, and he's Italian, and of course I have a lot of Irish blood, so it's like really like, no.
And the red hair was like, wasn't
he just
fiery.
Stood next to me, and he started like, he goes, have you finished now? And I said, pardon? He goes, what else do you need to say? And I said, did you go and do NLP? Did you learn that at NLP? He goes, what is NLP? I don't even think he knew what it was. He was so cute. He goes, no. He says, my father said you always had to stand by your woman. And it made me just melt. I thought, chivalry is not dead. Love a gallant man, love a gallant man. So he's really, really good like that. He never leaves my side when I'm upset, or if I'm angry, he will just sit and he'll just wait until the, I don't know, whatever the frustration's out.
Yeah.
And he'll often say, "You feel better now it's all out."
Yeah.
And yet he doesn't carry on like that. Like
Yeah.
funny.
How good is it? How good is it to be able to be that vulnerable with somebody, and and they know the worst of you because they see you crying and, ugly crying and and they see you at your best and they see you at your worst and everything in between, and they still, they stand by you. I think that vulnerability is really the key. And so many people, as you go through life, you hear it on the dating shows all the time, is, I've got these walls around my heart and all of this sort of thing, and it's like, so does everybody, because
Big deal.
it's not a big deal. Everybody does, because they've learned as they go through life that you actually can't open up to everybody. There are
exactly. Well, how many times have you shared your feelings and been rejected?
Exactly. Yeah. And for men, I guess, typically it was always about the man or the male having to ask the female out and all of that sort of thing. But anytime you have that dynamic where one person is kind of going out on a limb to ask another person out, you're exhibiting some vulnerability there, because if they say no, is it a rejection of you, or is it just, I've actually got a class at that time, so I can't, and I think people learn as they grow, particularly as children, and then as teenagers, when they're so uncertain of everything and they get rejected so many times because they say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and before you know it, it's gone around the school or around the class, and all of that sort of thing. So by the time you're getting to the late teens, early 20s, you're kind of a bit guarded, and it really does take some vulnerability and courage. One of the things I came across yesterday when I was thinking about when we were having a look at this topic was, can you have belonging if you don't have exclusion?
Can you have belonging
without exclusion?
Well, you'd like to think yes, wouldn't you? Because, I mean, that's what a tribe is accepting. And like we're talking about significant others. So your children, as long as you have a good, deep relationship, aren't going to leave you. Does that make sense? They're going to see that. And your cat's not going to leave you when it sees you angry and upset. Like, I think that, I suppose, but rejection happens in relationships.
Yeah,
like if you think about it, rejection happens in relationships and then you work it out. But again, you have to drop into that space of vulnerability to be able to create that space to work it out, to be able to move forward. And either do things in a new way or...
Yeah, because I was kind of thinking about it as opposites, because you can't have an inside if you don't have an outside. You can't have an open if you don't have closed, stuff like that. But I was like, if for belonging to occur, true belonging to occur, there would have to be exclusion, which is at the other end of the scale, really, isn't there?
Exclusion to me is that it's final. Maybe I'm interpreting the word differently.
Okay.
But to me, exclusion is like, we're finished, it's done. And I mean, of course, some friendships come back, some friendships don't.
Yeah.
So I suppose that would be exclusion and vulnerability. But I don't know if it's ever rebuilt on the same level, or some people could perceive it as deeper.
Yeah.
I think our journeys are so individual.
Yeah.
Do you know where what really hurts and wounds one person doesn't hurt and wound another person? So some people can forgive for some things and other people cannot forgive for other things. So you've got vulnerability and you've got exclusion. I suppose some people can marry the two, because with exclusion there would have to be a lot of forgiveness.
Yeah, so I see exclusion as belonging is coming together, exclusion is moving apart. So you might belong in the sense of everyone looks alike. So, for example, a particular culture or racial background, everyone looks alike or similar. But exclusion, as in we don't share the same values. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. And I was even thinking exclusion. Like, I mean, everyone's been a part of friendship groups where some people get invited and some people don't. So that's exclusion, isn't it?
Yeah. And same with even sporting organisations and that sort of thing, where everyone belongs because they like the same sport or they like the same activity, but they're not necessarily included because of, for whatever reason. Maybe they don't run fast enough, or their particular skill set is something else. Even though they might like playing soccer, for example, they're not very well coordinated, or they can't run very fast. So while they have that belonging to the club, they're not necessarily included. They're excluded from the B grade team or the A grade team, or that sort of thing.
Yeah. God, isn't that interesting? So actually, I think the sports metaphor was a really good one. Like, you're the player, you're the participator, as in participating, watching. Maybe you're the people watching it in TV, but I suppose everyone's belonging to the group of the part that's a part of it. So you're either belonging as the athlete, you're either belonging as the fan. Yep, supporter.
Yeah. So when it comes to
so we've got ourselves really curious now, both of us.
We have. This is really interesting. Because then if you look at your most significant relationship, and I think for most women, and very generalistic here, we really need to go through learning what we don't want before we find out what we do want. It's a period, it's a process of exclusion before we find belonging. And and I think one of the things, that I'm really looking forward to doing Queen and Find Your King.
I've got you.
You've got me really sucked in.
I've got lots of golden nuggets like that in How to Be a Queen and Have a King. I know, it's so funny. And so again, in a team, they stand up to each other. They have a hierarchy in a team. We even have hierarchy as fans, where people sit, whether they bring the flags and the jumpers, or whether they've
got season tickets versus
exactly.
Goodness me, how far does belonging go? It's
very deep, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's very deep in how we find a group of people that we can feel we can be ourselves. It's really funny. And again, you even think about the networking group. Sometimes you just go in and it's like, oh my God, I love these people and they love me. And you can go to another networking group and you're like, it's not warm, and you go, oh, I don't think they really would like me to come back here. And you probably recognise you're not a fit either. Both good people. It's nothing about, but it's not where you belong.
Yeah.
There's
and those relationships can be really significant to the individual, and really important and significant to the individual. So this is this incredible topic. I didn't know where we were going to go today when we started.
I don't think we can either of us do. When you jump on in 5 minutes before and go, we'll do relationships. We're like, okay. But I love how we just let it unfold, because this is truly what happens when you ring a girlfriend for a chat, or when you ring your mum for a chat, or conversation unfolds. And that's what I've really enjoyed about our weeks together. I know we're up to week 10 now, so we have 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left. And it's been amazing at what has been explored. And
I guess I'm looking for tidbits on how do you know whether to be vulnerable with someone or not. And I mean, you've already come up with an absolute beauty. If you won't stand up to you, won't stand up for you. So how do you know how far, how quickly to go with vulnerability and letting people see who you actually are?
I think that unfolds naturally.
Yeah.
I think that if you don't stand up to me, I think these are the test of relationships. We do this with girlfriends. We even have little tests along the way, like, do you really love me? Do you remember my birthday? We've all had those friends that are like, oh, you forgot my birthday. I'm like, yeah, but I've turned up at everything. I've been there the whole time while you've broken up. I've been your bridesmaid. I forgot your birthday this year. I'm sorry. Let's all go for a drink. And then, oh no, you just didn't. And you're like, oh look, I didn't mean it. But if that's their highest value, like in relationships, like you were talking about values before, when you come together, like some are very conditional, some friendships, and some are just there. They're just there no matter what. You just know they're there.
Yeah. 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 Interesting.
So I think that when you're vulnerable, I think that just naturally unfolds. Maybe as you grow, as they grow. I mean, you are always going to have a disruption with a friend at some stage. You're going to disagree about something. And you can either have that conversation where you say, I really love you so much. Can we work this out? How can we work this out? You know, most people go, yes, of course. But I suppose if people feel the relationships come to an end, maybe they don't think it's, you know, maybe that you've both been vulnerable, but it's run its course. You know, that beautiful poem of the seasons of a relationship.
Oh,
Some people come in, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Yeah.
Some people are here for spring, autumn, or a lifetime. Yeah.
So I guess I've got a bit of a tip for those that go on the dating shows on TV.
Oh, okay.
Stop telling everyone that your walls are up around your heart and you've been hurt, and you know no one gives a shit. Oh, sorry, no one cares.
No. That's so funny. Oh, that is so funny, Michelle, giving out hot tips on the shows. I don't even know what the shows are. What are the shows?
Oh, I turn them off. So even like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and
that's pretty popular.
I don't know. I turn them off because I go, oh my gosh, this is the worst, you know, that people are competing to get the attention of one person. And I'm just like, and then they sit and they go, oh, I can't share too much because I've been so hurt before. And you just go,
oh my God.
Oh, join the club.
Yeah.
You know, like it's about time you grow up and you know move on. But that's probably not a very popular opinion, but I just, oh goodness. Well,
I know the show, but I wouldn't have a clue about what it's about. However, I couldn't even be bothered going in and competing because I have a firm belief that a man chases you, you don't chase him. So that would not fit with me, that show anyway.
Yeah. And I just I think if you need to compete for attention, walk away.
Wrong man.
Walk away.
I always say when you step into that space of being a queen, the right king will find you.
Yeah.
When you have really, I love what you were saying before, Michelle, about I really learned to cherish myself. I learned to respect myself because we know people are an extension of us. You know, and so, you know, I suppose it all comes back to one of our first talks is that belonging. It really does start always with knowing you belong with yourself. Sit with your own pain, work it out, and remember there's always so much more happiness than there is pain.
And happiness is so much more fulfilling. Let's face it. No one wants to stay in pain. No one wants to stay in pain.
No one needs to stay.
So I think you're right in that gradual exposure of vulnerability. You gradually expose and you get to a point where you go, oh, that wasn't received well. So this is my limit. Whereas, okay, yep, I'm still being accepted and yep, okay, yep. And with your most significant relationships, I think it's really important that you can be who you are. You can ugly cry, you can, I don't know, you can laugh your head off and giggle at the most silly things and you're absolutely totally accepted. Like the love of a pet would be, you know, they just adore you no matter what. And I think with significant relationships, if you can't be vulnerable, if you can't reach out and be vulnerable with those significant relationships, then maybe it's worth like having time to sit down and decide, is this right for me?
Absolutely. Sorry, the reason I giggled is I thought every man should be a Labrador. So happy to see you all the time.
That's right.
It came to my head, but I didn't want to interrupt you. But when as it unfolded and you said it, I was like, yeah, every man should be a Labrador and a golden retriever, like, because they're just such a loving dog.
Oh, they are. They're adorable.
It is actually so super funny. So I suppose today, really, the takeaway is that, because we are now 25 plus, the takeaway is it takes courage. It takes a lot of courage to actually be vulnerable, but you don't want to be, I love, you actually just said something that I thought was really important, that where we'll test, but when you need to start giving yourself up, that's not your significant other. That is not the right person for you. You need to seek out and learn more about relationships, because that is that's not a very good place to be, because eventually giving yourself up turns into resentment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a girlfriend that we had a conversation probably about 2 years before she separated. And I remember saying to her at the time, how much are you going to give up of yourself to make this work?
Yeah.
Because you're doing, you're changing yourself to make this work.
Yeah, and that just needs to run its course.
Yeah, and it did.
It's like when people say, "Oh, I stayed for the kids." They didn't stay for the children; they stayed for themselves. They were scared, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to sometimes go and have that deep, honest relationship with yourself and go, "This was never about making everyone else happy. This was about making you happy."
Sorry,
sorry, now you're having a giggle.
Or you could just go to the local pound and find yourself a Labrador.
A Labrador. That's it, get the Labrador. That was just so funny. I don't know what you said, but I'm like, yeah, get a Labrador.
Okay.
Geez, I'll tell you what, I hope no man watches this. Like, I'm only joking. Like,
I know, but most women will find this funny, and that's
I think so.
Point.
We're here for the girls. We're here for the girls.
That's right. Let's draw a card. Yeah,
Can I put a dance within card today?
Please.
Would you like to tell me when to stop?
Now.
Okay.
Top, and just separate the pack and wherever it comes.
Excellent. And it says here, oh wow, I love it, for belonging with your significant other. I have the power to create the change I'm looking for.
Oh, absolutely. Can't quite see it. I have the power to create the change I'm looking for. Yep. That's awesome. Absolutely.
That's our little bit of bling magic.
And that was our tip, wasn't it, really? If you feel like you're giving yourself away, if you feel like you can't be vulnerable in a significant relationship, then really think about what it is you want, and you have the power to create that amazing life. You have the power to make those decisions.
You do. You 100% do. 100%. I love it. Well, Michele, I have loved being with you always at our Life's Better Together. Life is definitely better together with you. And now we have a whole other bunch of angels, which is like, life's just better and better all the time.
It is.
More the merrier. So I think on that note, I can't wait to have a cuppa with you next Wednesday.
Awesome. Okay, well, we will see you all next week.
Have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.